In 2020, what happened in June and in September, initially as an act and then as a bill, it was passed. The bill was passed in a very questionable way. Lok Sabha met with a lot of questions. The government did not take any stakeholders into the confidence. So, in fact, they did not even take their own ally SAD, Shiromani Akali Dal, into confidence. And that time, Harsimrat Kaur Badal had resigned. Okay. And the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha allowed to pass this bill in Rajya Sabha by ayes and noes, not taking actually a physical vote like happened during the nuclear bill in 2008. And the DD Rajya Sabha channel was also muted and no one was allowed to hear. And this was completely bizarre, had never happened in history. Okay, so in fact, a lot of opposition had walked out during that time. So the farmers during the protest, during the meetings on 29th November, on 1st December and 3rd December, they asked why this bill was passed. Okay, who actually approached you that you should pass this kind of a bill? So there is speculation running on social media. There is a discussion that the GDP has dropped massively at minus 25%. And during this period, only agriculture was having a positive GDP and rest others was negative. Overall, India is not an agrarian economy. The Punjab, Haryana are, generally the GDP, the agriculture GDP has been to the country only 14%. Okay, but this time the GDP contribution was the maximum, while others had basically contributed to negative GDP. Okay, so the speculation is that the corporates would have thought that because this is a short market where they can always earn money out of it. So if the corporates want to come in, they would approach the government. The government, let this be NDA government or UPA government, they also are in bed with the crony capitalists whom they favor. Okay, and if they want to push, they would push like they did, and we saw the malice that was there during the COVID. It was passed, and why was this passed in COVID? This is a very big question that the government has not answered so far. They could have just said we can pass it. Okay, let's wait. We can pass it post COVID. Not a problem. This is something which is in favor of the farmers. They would have spoken to the farmers. They could have taken all the stakeholders, their allies like Shiromani Akali Dal, many farmer unions across the country. They could have sat with the chief ministers of various states, discussed what is there, what is so. Like for example, APMCs are good in Punjab and Haryana. They are model APMCs, like they say, but which is not true in Bihar. So they could have talked to those people and passed the bill. And government might not have listened earlier. In fact, on 1st of December, government said that the panel or the committee should be constituted for taking in all the farmers' needs. But this was rejected by farmers, saying that all these panels and committees should have been formed before the bill was even tabled in the parliament, which is very true, and this is how it should be done. And my urge to sincere request to government is that they should follow the procedures while passing the bill. They should talk to all the stakeholders. They should bring consensus between all the stakeholders like farmers, traders, middlemen, APMCs. They should also strengthen APMCs, bring in MSP, bring in dispute resolution mechanisms, perfect them, and then put the bill into practice.